Technology is essential to productivity and ultimately enabling diplomacy. So for the State Department, being a global organization, we have a unique challenge in that we have to try to connect over 200 posts together through IT in order to communicate and collaborate. And so in addition to the challenge we face just connecting those 200 posts individually and within their local countries, they have their own unique challenges just trying to get to traditional wide area networks. And so being able to connect those 200 posts together through the use of the cloud has been hugely beneficial in the execution of the Department's foreign policy mission to be, anytime, anywhere, from any device capability has been a huge benefit brought on to us by the cloud capability. So that's been a huge benefit. But there's been lessons learned, and we've learned lots of them. One of the things that I'll mention is that large agencies in most cases are going to have a multi-cloud ecosystem, right? There's not going to be one cloud service provider that's going to be able to satisfy all your needs. So you really want to approach your migration to the cloud from an enterprise perspective, and you want to be able to create a scalable, secure, and take a holistic view to enterprise services. And so it's critically important that you try not to extend your PaaS and SaaS solutions into too many instances, right? You want to manage the number of platforms that you're managing, and because by consolidating platforms, you're going to end up with fewer areas in which you have to secure. It's going to save you money because you're not trying to pay for licenses in multiple different platforms. So that's one thing that's been one of the lessons that we've learned. The other thing is to establish your governance early on, right? You want to be able to make good business decisions about where cloud services solutions need to live, right? You need to look at the data categorization. You need to look at the who the user community is. You need to take those kinds of things into consideration and try to come up with a non-subjective way to determine where business solutions should live. It should not be sort of a preference-based decisions around technology. It really ought to be driven by business need, costs, and things of that nature. Lastly, I'd say moving to the cloud too quickly is great that you can get to quick to deliver solutions. Sometimes though, when you move too fast, you run the risk of missing those foundational concerns that you need to think about when you're doing cloud migration. But at the same time, moving too slowly, you risk opportunity costs when you do that. So you really have to figure out what that op tempo needs to be, what that balance is for your organization. And the best way to probably do that is to make sure that you, consider implement risk-based practices into your IT modernization processes right from the start. Understand the risk appetite of your agency, and make value versus risk sort of calculations whenever you're thinking about what you want to move out into the cloud. That's going to help protect you from moving too quickly and missing some of those security concerns. And then, train your staff on cybersecurity and technology best practices, because at the end of the day, it's everybody's responsibility to secure the data that's being moved out into the cloud. Everything from just a password that's not protected can create a vulnerability that lets an adversary in. So everybody has a responsibility. So that's going to be important to early and often continue to send that message to folks about their role and responsibility. And lastly, I would say partner with AQM, partner with your acquisition organization, because for a couple of reasons. One, because again, you can negotiate better price points if you're looking at things from an enterprise perspective and negotiating contracts from that perspective instead of with individual organizations doing it on their own. But also it gives you some insight into where the departments, where your agency's data is being moved into the cloud, right? Because everything has to come through acquisition. So if you partner with acquisitions, then you get a good sense of where everything is. You have an opportunity right up front to sort of control and manage what environment that business solution moves into. And also it helps you come up with standard and consistent ways to to have relationships with your contractors, so that, for instance, if you want to move your data out of that cloud, you want to be able to get it out without paying an astronomical cost and have it, and you want to still own that data. So it's important to have those things written into your contract so that there are clear lines of responsibility between you and the cloud service provider, and it's consistent in all of the various different contracts that you stand up.